Hello, everyone. Welcome. What a full room. Yeah. How have you guys been enjoying today? Good? Yeah. Well, we're really excited to talk with you about AI. I've been hearing a lot of chatter, a lot of murmurs throughout the day of you guys being really excited for this panel, and I'm joined here with some incredible panelists. We're so excited to chat about this topic. So AI is really everywhere. As we know, we're seeing it, we're hearing a lot about it, right? A lot of us are implementing it already. But when it comes to creator marketing, it's not just about the tech, what the tech can do, it's about what it should do. And so today we're gonna dig into really the intersection of AI and human creativity, human connection, right? And making sure that we're not losing that in the process of developing this tech. So my name is Kalia. I am your moderator for today. I'll be leading this conversation. I have been an influencer for the last 10 years. I started when I was 17. I'm 27 now, so I've gotten to see a lot of the evolving of the space. And then I also have a talent agency called Allura Society, so I can bring a couple of different perspectives as well. But I'm joined here by some amazing, amazing people. If we want to go ahead and kick off introductions, Fleur, you can start.
Yeah, hi everyone. Really excited to be here. My name is Fleur van Sambeek. I've been with Google for almost 7 years now and worked in different parts of the business, always in marketing. But at the moment, I'm part of the Google Pixel marketing team, so smartphones. And there I take care of all things influencer marketing for Northern Europe, 6 markets there. So that's me on a professional side. I'm really passionate about tech, clearly. Like when I was younger, I even had a blog called Girly and Geeky, 14 years old in high school, so I'm glad I ended up at Google. And I just became a puppy parent, so if we need to chat afterwards on the drinks, like give me your dog raising tips, that would be really nice.
Cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Nate Harris. I'm the VP of Product Innovation at CreatorIQ. I've been working at CreatorIQ for about 7 years now, but I've been in creator-driven companies for about a decade. I guess my fun fact is I also have experience growing a channel, being a creator in the past. I actually was not the face, but part of growing a beatboxing YouTube channel to about 50,000 subs in the past, so have lived on that side of the fence as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Louise Holmes, Director of Global Partnerships across Europe, Middle East and Africa at Meta. And my team partners with the most influential public figures, creators, media companies, teams, leagues and federations across the region. And we enable our partners' success across our family of apps, which is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and Threads.
Amazing. We're going to have some really great perspectives between all of them. So Nate, we're going to kick it off with you. You know, AI is being integrated into so many parts of the creator workflow, but what areas do you believe should always remain human-led and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think it's important to first establish why creator marketing is so human, right? And so when you think of most digital marketing channels, it's on a line, right? So imagine your advertiser at your agency or your brand. You're making your creative decisions, you're making your budget decisions, you're making your timeline decisions. And you take all of those decisions and go along the line to the platform, right? And this is your ad platform. It's your paid search or your paid social or your DSP or wherever you're actually buying that ad space. And so it's a very linear process. But creator marketing is a digital marketing channel that's a little bit different. It's a triangular relationship, right? So of course you have your advertisers, your marketers here, and you have your platforms where the audiences are actually living. But there's a third person as a part of this decision-making process, who is your creator, and that creator is involved in your creative decisions, your timelines, your budgets. It can be a very complex and a very messy process collaborating with a creator. But that complexity, at its core, is also what makes it human. And what makes it human is what makes it work, right? So you often hear this word authenticity in our space. This is one way of defining authenticity. It's because it's a little bit messy that it's resonant and authentic to audiences.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to establish that in the context of AI, because when we're building technology that integrates AI, we're trying to automate things at our core. But it's very important to remember that we're not trying to automate to the point where we're removing the human. And so when we make AI decisions, build with AI, create with AI, we need to remember the human.
Yeah, which is so important because when it comes to creators, creators aren't just commodities. It's not just people you're hiring, right? They're people, they're individuals, right? And in that, to remain authentic, authenticity isn't perfection. And with AI, sometimes I see so many brands, and even on the creator side with how it's being integrated, let's make it perfect. Let's make sure that there's no issues, no mess, right? But as humans, we're imperfect, right? And that mess is part of it, but that's what, allows us to keep that human connection, still solidified as we're increasing, right, efficiency. So Fleur, at Google Pixel, what experiments are you guys working on how you are leveraging AI beyond the common one that we're constantly seeing, which is creating content at scale?
Yeah, that's indeed the first one that you would think about, and that's definitely a good thing. But a project I'm currently working on is where we are trying to tap into AI to go for content created that really, is thumb-stopping. So the goal there is to work with real talent, real humans, and place them in a context, in a setting that is either partially or completely AI generated. And we really want to see if we can push the creative boundaries there. And we don't know yet, right? We don't know how it will be received. So we're in the middle of it, and I think that's an important thing. We're all learning, even at Google, an AI front runner. On the operational side, we're learning that too. So in that specific campaign, for example, I'm also not afraid to admit that for the post-production, we still use the traditional way of doing it, because sometimes that's just the quicker way to do it. That's more cost efficient. You don't need to deploy AI at every aspect of every single project. And in a way, it can be better to do it like this anyway, because this way you can isolate your experiments and really extract the learnings so you can do it better next time.
Yeah, which I think it's great that you're not saying, yeah, AI's here, let's throw it at everything and make everything more efficient, right? Let's use it in all aspects, but you guys are being so intentional with where you're starting to leverage it, and you guys are actually using it to the point where you can figure out, okay, yeah, it's working here, and it's not working here, so let's double down on what's working, and then let's refine and figure out where it could be even better in these other areas.
100%.
Yeah, so good. Okay, Luis, at Meta, you're leading partnerships for one of the world's biggest platforms, all right? How are you seeing AI reshape the way brands and creators are building these lasting, trusted relationships? And what are you guys specifically doing to make this happen?
Okay. So there's a couple of things here. Meta's vision has always been to build technology that enables better, deeper human connections, whether that's with family and friends or between creators and their audiences. And there's a couple of big bets that we've got at the moment. It may not surprise you, there's about 95 million creators on Facebook and Instagram. That's more than the population of the UK. And these creators are using the AI that we're building day to day. And the three big bets that are worth sharing, the first is our Meta AI assistant. Some of you may have seen this and used it. It's built into WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. There's a little Meta AI icon that you can use to ask questions, you can edit your photos, you can change the background. And that now has over 1 billion monthly users. It's the most used Meta AI, it's the most used AI assistant in the world. The second big bet, which I personally am really excited about, is integrating AI into what we think is the next generation of computing platforms, wearables, so AI Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. And these glasses, I wish I had them on today, I could be filming our conversation, taking a video, taking a photo, live streaming it to my followers on Instagram and Facebook, and doing it hands-free, which is a real benefit for content producers because you can do it on the go. But the really exciting thing here is that these glasses now have voice-activated AI built into them. So I could be sitting here and say to my glasses, hey Meta, tell me what trainers Nate has got and where can I buy them? Or I could go home tonight and open my fridge and say, hey Meta, give me a recipe I can make with the ingredients that you can see. So this is going to be really game-changing, we think. And the third bet in this space is actually happened last week. We launched our own Meta AI standalone app, dedicated for AI usage, and it's personalized. So the more that you use it, the more it will serve you recommendations and get to know the context and preferences you're working with. But to really echo, I think, what Fleur and Nate have both said, yes, there are AI tools that will improve these relationships, But deep down, humans follow humans, people engage with people, and real lives, real people with our messiness, our imperfections, our authenticity are really what engage people. And we see it on our platforms. People follow people because we're all people, and we see that every day.
Absolutely. It's so good and exciting to see what you guys are working on, what's already being implemented. I personally use the AI assistant in Instagram, and it has been such a game changer, even to help with facilitating conversations that are happening behind the scenes, right? To allow me to still have that connection and to even figure out, okay, how can I be efficient with it, but obviously still be involved? It needs training, right? It needs help, right? I can't just say, yeah, answer these questions and then you're good to go. It needs to learn my voice, my tonality, right? The way that I communicate. And then the wearables, I need those Ray-Ban glasses immediately.
We all need
So we should have worn them. We should just all worn them, here on stage. I love it. So we talked overarching kind of what experiments you guys are working on, what ways that you're actually implementing. Let's go deeper and talk about some of these internal processes. So Nate, I wanted to learn from you, what does your internal process look like when you're evaluating or developing these new AI tools? Like, how do you determine what's actually worth it to spend time on, to implement, versus what shiny object syndrome?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll kind of give a technologist POV here.
Please.
Right. So at CreatorIQ, we're building these systems, right? We're in some cases using frontier models to build new capabilities and new intelligence, and then at other times we're actually doing machine learning and data science on our own. And I think one thing that enterprises and any buyers of an AI system should keep in mind when they're trying to decide what to use and how much of it to use is actually how measurable that system is.
Yeah.
Right, so there are all of these ideas in data science around measurability, right? Things like precision and recall, being able to establish things like, is your model under or overfitted? Is your data drifting? Is your model drifting? And these things matter in this new world when there are so many like shiny GPT wrappers out there being sold as these, automate everything type capabilities. So I would encourage, it's how we approach choosing technologies to work with in our model selection at CreatorIQ. And I would encourage everybody when they're evaluating AI-infused tools to care about measurability, to care about reproducibility, to care about precision, because it matters in the accuracy of your eventual results.
Yeah, and I love that you guys are digging deep into that. I think too many brands they know that they should be using AI, and then they start throwing things at a wall hoping that it sticks. And it's like, no, we need to take a step back and actually figure out where could this intentionally be used, and how can we do it well and with excellence, and make sure that there's also data behind the scenes too that proves whether or not it's actually working and it's making sense to implement it, to spend the time and the resources to focus time and attention on that too. So Luis, coming back to you, what advice would you be giving to brands that are looking to scale their creator partnerships using AI while still keeping that storytelling and that cultural relevance at the forefront?
So I think there's two things here. There's practical tools, and then there's perhaps a more philosophical point of view. There are so many practical tools out there to help with AI and to help your brand stay relevant and on top of cultural trends. Instagram has a creator marketplace, which is powered by AI, and that helps brands discover and evaluate creators that might be a good fit for them, and vice versa, which is also important. And on that platform, there's also a trends tool which surfaces some of the topics and content creation trends we're seeing that are ranking highly. For example, it might be spring nails or festival vibes. And we surface this content to our creators, to our brands, and that helps them stay relevant and timely and jump on those trends quickly. So they're the kind of practical tools that exist. But I think from a more philosophical perspective, it's not all about AI. I think as a creator or a brand, you have to hold on to your North Star, to your unique point of view, to your unique and authentic way of storytelling, because that's why people or brands connected with you in the first place. And I think amidst this world of AI, holding on to your common sense as well is equally important, because not everything that AI serves to you is going to be 100% true or accurate. So your own expertise, your own evaluation, your own common sense is equally important, I'd say.
So good. And what you are continuing to hear everyone talk about is it's important to still be involved, to still test, to still look at things. Don't just give it off to AI and be like, we're good to go, you know? Like, keep being involved and being part of the process, because that's a huge way it's gonna maintain that authenticity, right, and that human connection. It's not, you know, throw it out there and then peace out and hope that it's actually working, right? So Fleur, you know, given that obviously AI is still new, right? This is a new frontier. That's why we're all here. We're wanting to learn. We're wanting to figure out how can we better implement and leverage it. So what are some practical strategies that companies can adopt to remain at the forefront of this evolving technology?
Well, I think, first of all, the role of the marketer is changing. It has already changed, and believe me, it will only change a lot more. And the marketing leadership at Google recognizes this. They know that to, you know, remain at the forefront, we need all Google marketers to really jump on this AI train. But at the same time, they also know that for us marketeers, this is new too, and the stuff moves so fast. So what they did is they almost give us a bit of a free pass to experiment, try out new things, you know, maybe even fail hard as long as we learn from it. And I think it's so important to go through that to, you know, figure out what works, and maybe also sometimes figure out what doesn't work when you've taken it too far, when you know, you let go a little bit too much. Because by going through that now, it takes more energy, you know, it's more complex. We haven't done it always before, so you need to figure it out, and you're unsure of the results. But hopefully by investing that time now, you can actually reap the rewards later and, you know, save time, save resources, or just create more epic content, and that's eventually the goal. So I'm quite happy that we're a little bit forced to do that. Some teams even go as far as including it in every single project or OKR to make sure that you really don't forget about that part. So that's one thing that you can try.
Yeah, that's so good. And it's great too that your leadership is promoting that. I don't know if there's anyone in here that maybe their leadership isn't as for it, or they're not really sure. Do you guys have any advice for even talking with your leadership and people that are in those decision-making positions to say, hey, here are my ideas on how we can integrate this. Here's where I think that there's opportunity. Any advice for anyone that's listening here on those conversations and what they could maybe share with them to help encourage them to adopt it, or even to give you rein to say, go ahead, try it out?
I mean, we're sort of forced to use it, I want to say it. We have an internal assistant, it won't surprise people in the room, called MetaMate, and it helps us draft emails, take summaries of meetings, organize agendas. You type in a question, I'm speaking on a panel, give me some ideas. But we're really encouraged. The point is, you know, we need to know how to use these tools. We shouldn't be scared of them. And I think there is a culture of fear around AI, and the things we fear the most are often the things we understand the least. So overcoming that, jumping in, getting your hands dirty with it is really the only way to keep up. And I read quite an interesting bit of research lately for the women in the room, just to share this, that apparently women are slower adopters of AI. We sort of feel like it's cheating. Maybe it's taking a shortcut, whereas men maybe don't feel that. And so I think the only way to kind of be involved is to give it a go. You know, people who get left behind are those who don't start the race, and the people who start the race first are usually those who win. So try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so important. If there's one thing you take away, it's like not to hold back in that regard, even if it doesn't come to you top down. Well, maybe at the top, they also don't know how to do everything, right? So I think it's really an effort of everyone involved, you know, C-level to A-level. We all need to figure out how to make this work. And just like Louise said, the more we try it out now and, you know, figure out what didn't work and what worked, we'll better be equipped in a few years when we are all the marketers that we will be expected to be in 5-10 years down the road.
Yeah, and I'll again kind of give the technologist angle. If your leadership isn't sold, show, don't tell, right? If you can't get access to your data or integration, use AI to make some dummy data, right? Show the capability, build a prototype, prove it out. When people see things, they're much more amenable to getting excited about it.
Yeah, all really, really great advice. We were, you know, prepping before with this session, and we were talking about how the only people that are going to get replaced by AI are the people who refuse to adapt and evolve with it, right? They're not implementing it. And they're saying, nope, I'm just not gonna touch it. I don't wanna have anything to do with it. AI is not going anywhere. It is only going to continue to become a big thing. We're gonna see it further integrated. So it's so important to figure out now, while it is a still new frontier, what does it look like for you at your company or in your role to start integrating AI? And I love what you said too, Nate, about show, don't tell. So coming back to you, Nate, in terms of like practical examples, how can AI be used to help streamline those customer campaigns or even improve decision-making without compromising the personal touch?
Thanks for this question. So I'll talk about one thing that we've built at CreatorIQ that is being used by a bunch of our customers to great effect. In paid social, we have this concept of a lookalike audience, right? Which is basically like, I've got a small cohort of people that are ideal, they're my ICP, and I want to expand that outward into a much larger circle and find people who look like the initial subset, right? And so from a creator POV, what we've built is this thing called recommended creators within our discovery platform, where you can start based on the content aesthetic of a few ideal creators, basically find people who make something that fits your vision perfectly, right? And what CreatorIQ allows you to do through this recommended creator AI tool is basically expand that pool out to other creators who make content that is aesthetically similar to that seed cohort. And so this is really nice when you've got a few perfect people, but you really need to find, a few dozen more that really fit that aesthetic and vibe that you're going for.
So exciting that that's available, because one of the conversations I'm always having with brands is they're saying, we want to leverage influencer marketing more, we want to work with more creators, but we can't find the right ones. So any of the brands in here, right, that are needing some software or tech, you know who to call, CreatorIQ. So Luis, coming back to you, at a global level, what trends are you seeing in how creators are adapting AI into their strategies?
Yeah, so as I sort of said in the intro, my team works with public figures and digital-first creators day in, day out. And part of our role is to introduce and share with them some of the new technologies, prototypes, features that we're working with in this space, and really to get their feedback, because that's what builds, shapes, perfects something before we take it to mass market and know that there's utility for people. And what we're seeing is really a huge amount of excitement. To the point we made earlier, people know that AI is here to stay, and creators really want that safe space to experiment, to understand it, to be at the forefront of this tech. In terms of trends, I'd call out two things that are really making a difference to creators. I think the first is voice-to-voice speech translations. So you might be a creator in the Philippines, and suddenly your content in your own voice is being translated into German or Portuguese, or into Macedonian, as one creator fed back to us that was super useful or valuable to them. So that really gives you global distribution, a global audience, and global monetization opportunities you didn't have before. And I think the other thing really just is how AI is able to supercharge, not replace, but supercharge creativity. And I think, Kalia, you will know, as a creator, we often get feedback about the expectations, the volume of content that you're expected to generate to stay on top of the algorithm. And this is where a creative partner in AI can help suggest ideas, brainstorm, give you script prompts, give you storyboards, help you edit, come up with music compositions. So those kind of practical tools we're really seeing creators get excited about.
It's so good, because no one can replace me, my name, image, and likeness. I mean, I don't want to see that happen, okay? But no one can do exactly what I can do, right, where I'm actually creating the video and showing up. But in terms of ideation, in terms of editing, in terms of those things to make me more efficient, would love to hand that over to AI and have that, help me, be more efficient. So I want to know from, in the last, minute that we have here, I want you each to answer this question, and Luis, we'll start with you. But I want to know, where do you think the biggest opportunity still lies when it comes to leveraging AI?
I've sort of already touched on this, but I think it's really all of us embracing it, not being afraid, giving it a go, getting out there now while it's still young and nascent enough that it's not embarrassing to say you don't know and hold your hand up and give it a go. So I would just say, do that, get involved, try it.
So good.
For me, it's depth of intelligence, right? What can we know about content? What can we know about creators? What useful things can we surface for our customers? And I would say one other thing too, which is everybody in this audience has the ability to influence how funds are spent in this space. You can support things that have forgotten the human, or you can not, right? You can continue to support the human in the midst of this AI wave. Remember that at the base of all of this, there are real people, there are creators, this is their livelihood, the artists, the entertainers, the educators on these platforms. And so make sure that when you're spending those brand dollars, you remember that aspect of this space.
I'll keep it super short. I would say don't wait. Make sure that you act, whether you are a creator or a brand. If everyone else around you is stepping into everything that's available and that will be available and you didn't, you might be still fine now, but you want to be ready for the future. So that would be my last comment.
Absolutely. Great. Well, thank you all so much for your insights.
Thank you.